Today's spring thing is this amazing pattern mama shirt. I am going to walk you through creating the design. Of course, I'm providing the SVGs. If you don't have those, then you can go ahead and grab those in the description. I'm going to walk you through how to create the design using the SVG for mama and the patterns that I provide both for you. And then we even go through some troubleshooting with weeding too much of my design. So let me show you what all you need for this project. For this project, you are going to need a printer, your Easy Press, Cricut machine. I am using Caesar Easy Color DTF, and it comes with the DTF sheets and the Easy Mask. You'll need a scraper, a weeding tool, your brayer. You can grab all the supplies for this project in the description below. You need a sweatshirt. I am doing an oversized sweatshirt. In Cricut Design Space, we are going to click on New Project. We're going to ignore everything except for blank canvas and click on blank canvas. Let's go ahead and close that out. Next, go over here to Upload and click on Upload Image. You can either browse, but I'm going to drag and drop my files in. And this is the SVG that we're using. Go ahead and upload that to your canvas. And I'm going to make this smaller. There we go. We're going to separate out these letters. And the way I'm going to do that is grab a square, and I am going to duplicate this square 4 times. And we are going to, actually you only need 3. We are going to detach each letter from the SVG file. So I have my first square over my first letter. I'm going to select the text and the square, and then I'm going to click on Slice. Now I'm going to get rid of the layers that I don't need. All we need to keep is our base layer. I'm going to just click on those other 2 layers and delete them out. And I'm going to keep doing that. Now, if you drag from the end, it's going to make the square larger and it makes it overlap the next layer or the next letter, and you don't want that. So stretch it from the middle here. Let's change the color of that so you can see what I mean. So this is our square. And if I make it larger from the corner, it keeps it uniform. But if I stretch from the middles, then it just stretches that side. Once you have the square over that second letter, go ahead and select everything and click on slice again. And then we can get rid of everything except for our original cut. And we are going to do that one more time. Let's change this color again and fit the square over that M. Select everything and click on slice. Now let's get rid of what we don't need here on the canvas. Now each of our letters is its own separate layer, and that's what we want. So for now, I'm going to select all of these and go up here and click on group. And now we need to get our patterns in. And the way we do that is we're going to go up here to upload. And I'm going to click on pattern fill and upload pattern. I'm going to drag and drop the pattern in, but you can browse and go to wherever the download is for you. My patterns are already named, so if you've grabbed mine, then you don't have to worry about naming them. If this is another pattern or your own pattern that you've designed, you can go ahead and give it a name and then click on upload. And I'm going to upload one more pattern. Now I have my patterns in there. I don't need to upload anything else, so I'm going to click on cancel here. Back on our canvas, you don't see the patterns anywhere. And the way you get to the pattern is you're going to go up here to where it says basic cut and go down to print then cut. I am going to select one letter at a time and go up here to where you choose your color. Our print type is a pattern. And you can see the 2 patterns that we uploaded here, and you'll just click on that pattern. And you just repeat that process for each of your letters. So all of our letters are filled now with our pattern. And what I want to do is give this more of a faux embroidery or faux varsity jacket look. So we are going to add an outline. So select the entire group and go up here to the little pencil where you can pull out more tools, and we are going to offset. So this first offset, I do not want it to be that big. So we're going to go 0.097, and I want to keep the edges a little bit more squared, and we have a choice to weld the offsets or not, but these ones don't touch, so we don't have to worry about that. So go ahead and click on apply, and then we're going to go back to offset, and we're going to create another one, and that one is also going to be 0.097. We're going to keep the rest of the setting the same. Actually, I made it a little bit bigger so that it overlaps and we get some of that weld. Go ahead and click on apply. So now we have 2 offsets and we only need 1 offset. We want to leave a little bit of space in between our pattern and our offset. So I'm going to select, this is the second offset, and then I'm going to hold down shift and select the first offset down here to combine and click on subtract. And this is going to be cut out in vinyl, so you'll just change it to whatever color you decide for your outline. Because we made this outline layer with these, it is set to print and cut. We want to change that to basic cut. To get the size that I want, I am going to have to print these letters separately. If you're okay with the size being smaller when you get this warning. So the paper that I'm using, or the printable that I'm using, is 8.5 by 11. And this is 10.44. Actually, I want it 10 and a half. 10 and a half by 3.51, which is, the 10 and a half is too big for 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is detach this. And I am going to place my vinyl first and then place in my DTF printable. So let's go ahead and get this printed out. Click on make, and it aligns everything for you. However, this is fine for this. I'm going to click on continue. They give this little warning now, sensor marks added. Click next. And I am going to add the bleed and use the system dialog box. And then click on print. So the paper size is set correctly. I let it auto select the media type, but this I am going to change to best because I want the best quality print. And then I am going to just click on print. It gives me another verify print quality warning. Well, now we're back over here at the printer, and it is printing out our design. And there it is. Here's the problem. I forgot to put the DTF sheet in the machine. So at least we know that the print quality is good. So with this, there is like a grayish side and a white side. You print on the white side. It says not to mirror. So I'm going to put that in the machine. Then back over here at the computer, since I've already printed, I need to go back up to that step. And I'm going to take the same steps that I took previously and go ahead and get that printed out. And there's our print. Got a little ink up here. Shouldn't bother anything. But our next step is to get this cut out with the Cricut. Now that everything's printed, it's time to get things cut out. And I'm going to prepare my mats first. This is going to be done on rainbow white glitter HTV from Caesar. And I'm just going to change my mat and turn my mirror on. Then I'm going to go back up here to this one, and we're ready for that. Click continue. And I've already printed. So I'm going to choose vinyl and then select more on this. And I'm going to click on remember material settings because that same setting should cut through my rainbow white glitter. So now we got to get our sheet onto the Cricut mat. And I'm hoping that this ink blob doesn't cause us any issues, but we shall see. And I'm just going to use my brayer to make sure that it is nice and secure on the mat. And it's prompting me to go ahead and load my machine. And because it's so bright in here, while it is trying to detect, I am going to cover it up so that the sensor lights don't get the lights from my studio. It's all done cutting, so I'm going to remove this from the machine. Now, because we had to cut the letters all apart, I'm going to have to do this a little bit differently so that I can make sure that the letters are where they need to be. But basically, all you do is weed away the voided areas, the areas that you don't want. And then I am going to take a piece of the masking that came with my Easy Color DTF, and I am going to go ahead and transfer all of these to one sheet of masking and then put the masking back on it. So I'm going to take my scraper and make sure that's on there good. And before I just rip it off, I'm going to lift just very easily to make sure that everything's adhered. And then for now, I'm going to put it back on this backing and set it aside. Let's get the Cricut machine out of the way and get the Easy Press heated and ready to go. So the Easy Press needs to be set at 340. Turned it on and I'm hitting the little temperature button, and I'm just going to press up until we get to 340. And we're going to press it for 15 to 25 seconds. So I'm going to go right there in the middle, and then we'll let that heat up. While that's heating, we can get our shirt ready to go. While the Easy Press is heating up, we're going to go ahead and get out. I just realized I forgot to cut the vinyl. So let me get that cut real quick. My brayer is one of my most used tools in my craft room. By the time that's done cutting, our Easy Press should be ready to go, and we can get everything pressed out. Before I get that weeded, I'm going to go ahead and get this set up where I want it. And to help us find center, I'm going to bring these two shoulders together and make sure everything is lined up. Lay it on my mat and just give it a quick press here with the Easy Press. And that should give me enough of a center line to where I can see where to place things. It's hard to see in the video. But let's go ahead and get this weeded out, because this is going to go on first before our DTF. And the reason why I'm putting it on first is because of our printer size, we had to break the letters up. Glitter vinyl is one of my favorite things to read. Such a satisfying thing and sound. You'll see me use my fingers a lot when weeding because it's just easier. So we're taking out the inner portion we lost part of our end. So I'm going to do my best to put it back on here. The great thing about Caesar vinyl is if you make a mistake and rip it like I just did, and you can get it back together on your design, once it's pressed, you do not see those flaws. Before I remove anything else, I'm going to put this back together, and then moving forward, I will be way more careful with where I am weeding. And this just happened because I wasn't paying attention to the pieces I was pulling off with my fingers. We all make mistakes. Caesar glitter is very forgiving. So I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this weeded out. So we have everything weeded, and we have pieces that are missing from both of our ends. We're not going to worry about that right now. Like I said, Caesar glitter vinyl is super forgiving. So we'll get that fixed here in a minute. What I am going to do is fold my design, not sticky sides together, and then pinch at the top and the bottom. And then I am going to center this on my shirt about 3 finger widths down from the top, and just make sure that it's straight. And then using the Easy Press, I'm going to get that glitter pressed on. I'm not going to do the full amount of time. We have it set at 20 seconds. I didn't do the whole time. You can then remove your transfer sheet, and now we need to replace those missing pieces. So one is here. And as I place it where it's supposed to go, I'm just going to take a piece of heat tape and put that down on there. Don't be like me. Go slow and pay attention to what you're weeding. But if you don't, and you go fast like I do, then you know how to fix it. So we have our design tacked down, and the pieces that we're missing, we have them put together. And if you look, you can't even really see where the disconnect was. So I just used some heat tape to tape it down, and now we're going to give it a press. Then you can remove all the heat tape. So next we have to get our letters in between. And like I said, because of the fact that our printer didn't print large enough or can't print large enough, we're going to have to place these on one by one, which is why we put our vinyl on first, because that gives us a guide as to where things go. And I'm going to cut around each letter and put it in by itself. Now, some of the letters have a little bit of a curve on them, so you'll want to pay attention because this A does not fit here. This A goes over here. And as I place them down, I am going to cut around them a little bit more so that there is no overlap and I can actually press these all at one time without having to press over and over again. So basically just pay attention to where you're putting your letters. Make sure they're in their correct spot. Once you have everything down, we're going to go ahead and give it a press. You need medium pressure with the easy press. I forgot to reduce my time to 20 seconds. We said that's what we were going to do, but I did not. So I'm just going to let it go the full 25 seconds. And this is a hot peel, so you'll want to peel it as soon as you remove the press. And that's it. Now you have an adorable patterned mama shirt, or whatever words you want to use in there.